for years now.
Take two.
Our cameras have been following Dr. Pol. You've seen him take care of animals, large and small, angry and adorable.
Little ferocious thing.
What in the...
This time we have a different story to tell. How a Dutch farm boy grew up to be our incredible Dr. Pol.
On TV, I look like a crazy large animal veterinarian with an accent.
First time I rode a bull.
And in this special,
Good.
I hope that we can share a little bit different side of me that you don't see all the time.
You can call me anytime for this.
This is the story of Jan Pol, a boy who grew up in the Netherlands and dreamed of America. A man with a love story like you see in the movies. A country vet who became famous around the world. This is the story of his incredible life.
Okay, let's get busy. Hold.
As a veterinarian, you have to save the lives of animals.
I got this one.
And when you're in time and you can pull a live calf, it's the most rewarding part of the business.
Look at that, see? Yeah. Okay.
Dr. Pol has been braving the nasty Michigan weather for decades, answering emergency calls from farmers like Butch Black.
I have a cow out here, wanting a calf. My husband believes that it's dead.
But she's a first-time heifer.
Yep, I can tell. Charles, chains.
Yeah, coming.
I think the most memorable film case was the calving that we did in the rain. It was just an experience that I'll remember for my entire life.
I've had very many difficult boers.
Oh, shoot.
It always has been my motto that do the best you can, never give up, and tell it like it is.
Oh, pull her over!
I know I'm gonna lose a calf, probably.
Well, we're gonna see.
Working in frigid rain, Dr. Pol doesn't know if the calf is even alive.
Thank you.
No, I definitely felt the rain, and I definitely heard the thunder. But it made no difference. You know, I was there to pull a calf.
I got it. Underneath.
The calf isn't breathing.
I got it. Here. Get it out of there.
Doc knows the next few minutes are critical, and he's not giving up.
Is it alive?
Get the pail of water. Sometimes.
And even as dramatic as it was on television, it was even more dramatic in person.
And down.
And the calf started breathing.
Yeah.
There he goes, maybe a little bit. Don't give up, you sucker.
Yeah. Ha! Charles?
Yeah. Seeing that calf come out alive and my dad basically bring it to life, it was something.
One lucky sucker there, ain't I?
Good job.
I felt a palpable energy, and I think the entire crew kind of shared that.
Is it a bull?
Heifer.
Heifer.
Even though you're filming it, you feel like you're a part of it. His energy bleeds over because he's psyched, and you feel it. You're there.
It's breathing.
No,
Yeah.
And we got it alive.
And we were talking about it for weeks after, because it was a great, great moment.
That's a
One
good
lucky
job.
sucker
That's
there,
damn
ain't
good. Oh, that brought tears to my eyes.
And when that came out alive, actually, that was, you know, the cream in the coffee.
It's just another day in the life of a man who never set out to be incredible. His story begins over 70 years ago, a long way from his home in central Michigan.
Come on, Donna.
I was born and raised in the Netherlands, in a very small rural area where my dad had a dairy farm. Growing up, we had the cows, we had the horses, we had chickens, we had pigs.
Oh, shut up. It's going to be soup pretty quick.
What didn't we have? I always liked the animals. You know, I had never any problem getting up in the morning and helping my dad work with the cows when all the other kids were gone.
My sister was telling that I was taking care of a chicken when I was like 1.5, 2 years old. My father probably would do away with it because she wasn't laying eggs, but of course I was trying to take care of it. Catch.
My mother was always trying to save animals too. And maybe that's what I got from her. There were 6 of us. I was by far the youngest.
In the local Dutch tradition, the Pole family house was connected to the barn.
Our house at that time had no running water. We had no electricity. We had a coal stove in the house for heat. On the farm, we always had food.
Jan Pol was born in 1942, 2.5 years after Germany invaded the Netherlands.
I was raised in the Second World War. I don't remember much, but I've heard the stories.
As the war tore apart Europe, the Poles adapted to life in a country occupied by the Nazis. His brothers were too young to serve, his father too old. The family stayed together, tending to their farm.
We were very lucky in the war. So when the Germans started deporting all the Jews, the Dutch people just started sheltering them.
Despite the risk, the Poles took a starving Jewish boy into their home.
For me, it was just, you know, a little older brother, and that's how he was treated.
They're risking their lives for a boy.
Sorry.
That was just regular Dutch people.
At the age of 12, something happened that changed the course of Dr. Pol's life.
My brother Jan bought some pigs, and then they turned out to be pregnant. And he made me reach all the way up to my armpit in order to get the piglets out. The ones that I got out and started squealing and looking so nice, pink and rosy, that was such a satisfying feeling to save those little buggers. That's when I said, okay, I'll become a veterinarian.
6 decades later, Doc's still right at home on the farm.
We have done a Daryl Soper on the way in.
I really like the area. I like the people that are here.
I thank you.
You're welcome.
Hello. I came from a rural area in the Netherlands. So, to be honest with you, it felt like home right away.
Jan was only 18 when he made his first trip to the States.
My sister moved to Canada in 1955, so we really did not expect to see her many times.
He wanted to come this way because we had been here for a number of years, and apparently my mom and dad were talking about visiting, and he wanted to go as an exchange student then.
He yearned to follow his sister across the Atlantic. So he found an exchange program in Michigan and applied.
When you see North America on one page in the atlas, Ontario and Michigan is very close together. So I ended up in Mayville.
Mayville was a long way from the Netherlands, but somehow he would find himself getting closer to home.
I first met Jan when he was an exchange student to my high school. He ended up staying at my parents' home. When he first showed up, everybody else seemed to think he was really good looking. All the other girls were really swooning over him, but yeah, he was okay.
Diane came out of the crowd. First thing I said, man, she's tall.
It was definitely not love at first sight.
We got along fine. It seemed like Diane and I had the same interest an awful lot. We loved the beach, we loved to go swimming. So we had a lot of hobbies that were together.
I think my dad had always wanted to have a son. Well, He did in the long run, but not the way he thought. By the time Jan left, we were really good friends. There was a little spark, but he was going back to the Netherlands, and I was starting my college.
Diane left home to become a teacher. Jan went back home to become a doctor.
Veterinary school was in Utrecht, the Netherlands. You didn't have to be accepted, you just went there. There were like 300 students that wanted to become veterinarians. They only had room for 100. So the first couple exams, they weeded half of them out. Out of the 300 that started, only 96 became veterinarians. And I'm one of them. You have to let the animal tell you what is going on with it. Back when I was in school, they told us, you examine an animal. That means you look at it, you feel it, you listen, and if necessary, smell it. I'm a hands-on guy. In the final year of vet school, we didn't have to study out of books anymore. Everything was hands-on. I flew through it.
In 1970, Mr. Jan Pol became Dr. Jan Pol. And he's basically been on call ever since.
In college, he told us, hey, get your shirt off and get in there, because they didn't supply aprons for us. Now it's the same thing. My skin washes a lot easier than my clothes, because if you get all that blood, sweat, and tears and anything else in your clothes, the spots don't come out. My skin cleans as easy as anything else, and it doesn't bother me one bit.
Pol Veterinary Services, this is Diane.
Jan and Diane have been married for nearly 50 years.
And we've got quite a few calls on the list.
You know, there's a saying, behind any successful man, there is a strong woman.
Diane is the boss. What do you think? Yeah, she tells us where to go.
All right, I'll let him know. All right, thank you. I think when we first met, we had no idea that anything would ever develop between the two of us.
With an ocean separating the two, their relationship matured through letters.
You know, we dropped the letter in the mail on Sunday night, and she would have it Wednesday.
Through the years, we began to realize that we had a romance budding. I think the summer that I spent over in Europe was the summer that we actually fell in love with each other.
That was the time when, you know, my father was dying, and she just kept things going while we were taking care of my dad, and she was there.
About 2 years later, he came back over to the United States. He proposed to me. I made him do the whole official thing, and
Yes,
They were married in the summer of 1967.
okay, what were we saying? I lost my train of thought.
Doc never had any interest in starting a practice in the Netherlands.
When I was in college, I bought all English books. Yes, I was ready to go farther away than anybody else.
They opted to go somewhere familiar, Diane's hometown of Mayville, Michigan.
We ended up staying with my family while he went around with some of the local veterinarians so that he could get used to the way things were done here.
After a decade of working for others, he was ready. It was time for him to be his own boss.
Basically, is I don't take orders. I'm a stubborn Dutchman, and I want to do it my way. And the only way you can do that is to open up your own practice and have nobody tell you how that it has to be done.
Dr. Pol and Diane searched for just the right place to put down roots.
We did some research, and we found out that there were not many large animal veterinarians practicing in this area, while Isabella was one of the highest counties for cows, pigs, and other animals.
Wademan, Michigan is where they settled. Before he had a chance to hang out his shingle, there was a call for help.
My first case in Waitman was pulling a live calf. I wasn't even ready. I didn't have all my instruments, didn't have all the medicine, didn't have all the equipment.
Ready or not, the farmer needed him.
I can't do anything. I don't even have a calf puller yet. He says, okay, we'll get one for you. So I went out, used the other guy's calf puller and pulled a live calf. And he says, how much? He says, I'm sorry, but I cannot charge you for this. Here, I'm doing you a service and you're fine. Thank you very much. Glad you called.
Word quickly spread. There's a new vet in the area. He has a funny accent, but he's a straight shooter.
I was running my full head off pretty quick. It was just work. We got a practice started and it took off like wildfire. First, we saw the large animals, mainly cows, horses, pigs.
As the years passed, Dr. Pohl built a loyal client base.
Here we are again.
Oh my God!
Dr. Pohl is my veterinarian, and I consider a good friend.
Bill Stow has trusted Dr. Pohl with the care of his cows for 15 years.
You guys are going too fast for me. Hey!
For the Stows to stay in business, Bill's cows need to make milk.
Cows have to get pregnant, otherwise they can't give milk.
No pregnant cows means no payday. So one of Doc's main jobs, pregnancy checks.
I've always had the bottom line in my mind.
On a recent visit, Doc donned his glove and found out many of Bill's cows weren't carrying calves.
Why isn't this one pregnant?
You're the doctor. You're supposed to tell us.
I told them that they are feeding way too much calcium and not enough phosphorus.
We changed the diet, so it seems to make the difference.
First one is pregnant from November. No, so we started pregnancy checking cows, and the first 3, pregnant. Let's keep going. Pregnant. Oh,
Marveloso.
That's a plus?
yes,
We were doing good.
pregnant.
His goal is our goal. 16 positives.
That's what I thought.
Better than that.
Yes, I know.
Man alive.
Ooh.
Clay Knob Dairy is run by the Leonard brothers, Phil and Dale. They're also longtime clients of Dr. Pohl.
Keep going, keep pulling. Watch it.
Over the years, Dr. Pohl has proved his worth,
Watch it, Dale. Go.
Watch out.
and in the process, saved them a lot of money.
First time I remember he came out, had a cow with a sore foot. And usually in a situation like that, the cow, we ended up getting rid of her because we couldn't fix it right. Next thing I know, he's hooked into the top of the barn there, and the trusses, her foot was up. He's in there working, carving on it, and I just like, really?
When they find out that you know what you're doing and you treat them honestly,
Watch out, eyes.
then they get used to you very fast and call you.
Ooh, what a smell.
Before long, the hard-working Dutchman had a thriving large animal vet practice. Turns out, it was only the beginning.
Next thing we knew, people were knocking down the door and saying, my dog just got hit by a car, can you take care of it?
By 1981, the word's out in central Michigan. There's a new vet in town, and he's good.
I've never taken out an ad saying, I'm a veterinarian, come and call me.
When we first started, we figured that we would be doing probably completely large animal. Pretty soon, we had so many people coming, they were lining up outside our door. So we set up a little corner of our garage.
Business quickly outgrew their garage. In 1986, the Pohls broke ground on their clinic. The pace started at a gallop and hasn't slowed down since. Pohl Veterinary Services is open for business 6 days a week, and there's always a vet on call.
Morning, Beth.
Morning, Dr. Pohl.
What do we got?
Each week, hundreds of people flock to the clinic to put their trust in Dr. Pohl's talented staff.
We see appointments every 15 minutes.
Oh, Right in my face. It is just crazy. White blood cells are high. See that?
Yeah.
You don't worry about the next one that's coming. How are you? Or the one that's behind. Okay. And if you pee on me, I'll spit on you. And you work through it. Hey! Be quiet! Through the years, people have realized that I'm willing to take on any animal. Oh, that doesn't hurt. Whatever they bring through the doors, we will help them. What is the problem?
I believe he has parasites.
And porcupine quills. Yikes.
Hey, you're a cute guy.
It's a girl.
Girl. A business like this you cannot do by yourself. Diane did the books, I did the work, and together we built this practice. Yes.
And together, they built a family.
Dr. Pohl and I wanted a life with children, and we could not have children of our own, so we decided that we were going to adopt.
I cannot imagine life without children. Kathy came first, then Charles, and then Diane Jr. came last.
The 80s was a good decade for us. The kids were home. Yeah, I love having kids around, and we were starting a business, and the business was growing and doing well, and it was just a happy time.
When I was a little boy, my dad was like a superhero to me. He was huge and strong and, you know, threw around bulls. You know, just seems to be the toughest, roughest, strongest, fastest guy you've ever seen.
They've given us a lot of grief, but a lot more joy. And still, everybody's very close.
It was difficult being married to a practicing veterinarian and trying to raise kids at the same time.
And Dad was just like, hang on.
But we always ate our dinner together. Sometimes it was 9 or 9:30 at night before he got home from farm calls and we could sit down and have dinner together.
If we wanted to hang out with Dad, we would go out in the room in our garage and hang out with him while he was doing his spays and castrations at 9 o'clock at night.
Yeah, good old days.
And, as if on cue, an emergency call. Yet another family dinner interrupted by work.
How bad is it?
First, he tries to triage the case over the phone.
Okay, a couple Band-Aids over the top of it to make it tight.
An emergency after, while we're eating.
You cannot separate business and home life.
A lot of times he would get up at 2 in the morning and go out on an emergency.
And you guys stay.
This one's severe, in need of treatment.
See you later. In a business like this, you are on call 24/7. I don't mind. And they know it. They're used to it. They know it's part of the business that we have. There's nothing we can do about it.
The client is desperate. Amanda McCulley's pet has been attacked by a rat. Dr. Pohl is the only vet who will see her.
The rat started biting him?
Making a full course meal of him.
He has big wounds on Oliver's body, and his face is all bitten up.
Come on, sweetie. This is not good.
No.
Yep.
The life of a country vet is a life on call.
You guys stay.
Today is no different. Amanda's pet snake was attacked.
We put a rat in for him to eat, and he didn't eat it.
So what, the rat started biting him?
Making a full course meal of him.
Come on, sweetie. Along the back, that rat just had a good meal of some tender snake meat. But this is not good.
No. No one wanted to deal with the snake. I called Dr. Pohl, and I'm like, I have no one. No one wants to even touch him.
We'll heal that up.
Oh, good.
We're not going to give it up that easy. Hi, sweetie.
Good. The wounds were so bad. I thought the worst. I thought he was going to die.
I've seen it worse.
I'm hoping Dr. Pohl can work some magic and get him healed.
I can pull the skin together over the top, so I don't give up easy.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you.
Dr. Pohl is just awesome. I am just overwhelmed. I mean, he handled everything just beautifully.
Well, it's better than you expected.
Yes.
Dr. Pohl was the vet on call today. But most days, he's not the only one on the other end of the phone. Now, he has more than a dozen people working for him.
As we started expanding, the people that we hired, we took in as part of our family.
Dr. Brenda is the senior vet at the clinic. She was hired right after she graduated vet school.
I knew right away that I wanted to be part of the practice here. It's like a big family, the way the clinic is run, and I really feel quite at home here. Looks delicious.
Yes, I know. Are these fresh pumpkins?
No, can't keep them out of the can. But the crust is from scratch. I think that just like anybody else's job, there's been good days and bad days. The good days far outweigh the bad days, otherwise I wouldn't have stayed so long.
Very good.
Good, I'm glad you like it.
It's pretty good.
I remember as a kid, like, being over there and feeling like that was part of my extended family.
Many people in the clinic have worked for us many, many years.
Oh, my God.
Today, finding vets interested in treating large animals is challenging. When Doc put out word he needed to hire a new vet, Emily Thomas answered the call.
I'm the new vet at Pohl Veterinary. I'm excited to be here.
Go any slower. I try to show new veterinarians how I do things.
I like getting out on the farms. You get to play with cows.
Ah, must be the newbie.
Dr. Emily.
Hello.
This is Dale, this is Phil.
Dale and Phil.
Stomach is working good.
Good.
But step aside when the tail goes up. That's herd manure, though?
Yep.
Manure doesn't bother me one bit. I could eat a hamburger while palpating cows.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of wrong.
I smell ketosis.
I smell ketosis. I've never been able to smell that.
Ketosis. The cow's blood sugar level is dangerously low.
It's a dirty, sweet smell. Not very agreeable.
Even Dr. Pohl had to learn the distinctive odor.
You have to teach your nose how to smell it, basically, because for years I couldn't smell it until I had a cow that was so bad ketosis that, you walked in the barn and, wait a minute, is that ketosis? And from there on, now I know what it smells like.
A little dextrose is the cure. But another one of Dale's cows has a displaced epimasum. One of her stomach chambers is out of place, a potentially fatal condition.
Many veterinarians will do surgery, but the farmers here prefer us doing the roll and stitch, which is something that she's never done.
Dr. Pohl learned this technique during vet school in the Netherlands.
It was pretty exciting because it was the first time she did a roll and stitch.
Because the stomach is full of gas, the gas pulls the stomach right in this place where it's supposed to be. Hear that?
Yep.
Okay, and with our big needles, we anchor the stomach right to the belly wall. Watch this. Ready? I put the first stitch in. With the tip of the needle, you can feel whether you're in the epimasum, because the epimasum is smooth. Let her feel a little bit how it goes. Feel this. See? Then she can do the second stitch, so she knows how it feels like.
Okay, just straight in?
Yep, straight in. Deeper. Deeper. Oh, yeah. She did fine. It was a new procedure for her, but that was all. Roll it through. Roll it through. Good.
I think I might need to see one more roll and stitch before I am ready for myself, but I can do it.
Okay, let's go.
When Doc's not teaching classic vet procedures, he's busy inventing his own.
The rectal prolapse rings for pigs, if you buy them, they're expensive. So I figured, hey, you know, I can make it myself.
We're gonna use this prolapse tube. We're gonna slide that in the inside of the rectum. Okay, let it go.
Holy cow, that's broke. When you have a broken leg on a calf, you just use a bunch of cotton, a bushel basket, and that is enough stabilization for a leg to heal. And I think that's enough. Yep, that'll do.
Doc's ingenuity helps the bottom line. But his compassion keeps clients coming back, generation after generation.
I'm looking for the best interest of the animal.
Today, a horse is stricken with a bad case of founder, which is a crippling and often fatal disease.
Foundered terribly.
Yeah, I see that. The hoofs are just completely malformed, so it's very painful for the horse to walk. Come on, sweet.
I knew it was time, it was past time, and he could tell as soon as he saw her.
When an animal becomes so sick that the quality of life is completely gone for it, then let it go.
Well,
Euthanasia is part of the job, but it's not the nice part. We went to school to help animals, not to kill them.
I've had horses for 52 years, so it'll be the first time I've been without any.
I think my dad is excellent with helping people cope with the pain that they feel when they lose an animal.
Euthanasias are probably the hardest part of Jan's job. Even though he knows that is best for the animal, it's never easy.
To eliminate suffering, he adopted a two-step approach.
What I do with any animal, they get tranquilizers. By that time, they're out far enough that they don't know what's going on, and that's when I go with the big needle and go right directly into the heart and stop the heart. I'm not going away until I know for sure. No more horses, huh?
Nope.
Many times I cry with them. They get choked up because, you know, we've had so many pets, and our pets have to die.
When you see a horse euthanasia, it's never easy. But then you go on to the next farm call, and some days he pulls a live calf. So it's a roller coaster, and every day is different.
And every day, there's risk.
Many farmers have been killed by bulls. Watch it! Don't turn your back on an Angus bull. Go! Move! Look at the cows, and they'll tell you whether they're gonna run over you, kick you, or, you know, trample you to death. Come on!
There's no question. This is a dangerous job.
It's just like being a matador.
Right. Watch out.
Man alive, Dave!
We work in situations that are dangerous.
Charles?
She's pushing this board.
That's okay. Hey!
These animals, they're strong and they can hurt you in a blink of an eye.
Yeah, out that way. The minute you turn your back, you're done for.
Hey, Dave.
You son of a... I turned my head for a moment and she nailed me.
The cow was able to get under the pipe and kick him in the leg.
Oh, it hurts. Man alive, how did she get underneath that pipe?
After 30 years of this, many people might consider kicking back and retiring. Not Dr. Paul. Instead, he chose to double down and pick up a second job.
Watch it. Watch it. Move!
Until a few years ago, most of the world had never heard of Dr. Jan Pol. But one man saw the potential and had an idea.
I was working in Los Angeles, and I said, you know, my dad would make a really interesting reality show subject. He's a character.
Okay, who's got the hemorrhoids around here? So Charles came and says, Dad, we should make a reality show about you. And I thought, who the heck cares? You know, nobody wants to watch me. So he brought 2 friends and a filmer, and they were filming us for a week. Just stand still, you little mongrel.
When I first met him, he picked us up at the Grand Rapids airport. He was extremely loud.
Pull it. Charles, when he moves forward, pull it tight.
He was driving like a maniac. I had just met him, and he already told me to shut up twice.
Shut up. That's it, Ray?
But I knew, like, this guy is the kind of guy that you can base a television series off of. He was just humongous.
Week 10 days, go ahead, pull the stitches out. And basically, the rest is history.
Hello, hello, hello.
Glad you came, lady.
Becoming the star of a TV show took a little getting used to.
And you know, to see you in something besides your coveralls?
Yeah, I even took a shower. In the beginning, it was a little weird that the people were following me all over the place, but we have developed a very good system. Thanks, guys. Guys, get away. He's mean. Watch it. Move.
Following Dr. Pol is like, it's like the running of the bulls.
Oh, they're crazy.
A lot of times, literally.
Shut up. You know, when we go on farm calls, there's a crew that goes ahead. My work on the farm is not compromised by all this filming.
Dr. Pol appreciates the fact that we're working around him and not asking him to stop.
The animal still comes first. So when they are in the way, I will tell them. Move, move. Come on, Mama. Hang on.
The challenge of making the show is that it's real.
We don't do retakes. Holy cow. Especially, you know, when I try to pull a calf, the film crew has to be there the very first time and get it right, because I'm not putting that calf back in the cow to pull a second take.
Is he breathing?
Should be fine. We are still doing the best we can helping animals. Hello. And I think this is why the show is so popular.
Can we take a picture with you?
Come behind us.
Okay. Okay.
I love Dr. Pol because he helps animals and he has different adventures.
He has more than 19,000 patients, and he's here with us tonight. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a big down and welcome the incredible Dr. Pol.
Thank you, thank you. I'm Dr. Pol.
Dr. Pol's success has given him a platform to get his message out. It's all about animals.
I think my dad feels that if he can inspire one kid to consider a career with animals, whether it's veterinary medicine or being a farmer, everything that he has to do for the show is worthwhile.
When kids grow up with animals, have to take care of animals, they make better adults later on. Again, thanks very much for inviting us over for this beautiful event. Thank you. Excuse me. No, you don't have any.
For me, I'm not incredible. You know, what I do is very credible and believable. It is just that I do care and try to do the best I can for the animal, for the owner, and have been very successful.
Where you going? What? Be cute, aren't they?
When he gets home from work and the cameras aren't around, I do not call him the incredible Dr. Pole. I say, get to work.
Dr. Pole's a man in constant motion. Even on his days off, he doesn't sit still.
You know, if you sit still, you start rusting. I plan to stick around for a long time yet, so the more I move now, the better it'll be.
Yes, he completely lives up to his name, the Incredible Dr. Pole, but he will never admit that.
So I just want to thank you very much for everything that you do for 4-H in Isabella County.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Jan does do a lot for the community.
I beseech you, therefore, brethren, by the mercies of God.
But having lived here all this time and raising our family here and growing our business here, I feel like we've received so much more.
More power to the class of 19, that's too old. More power to the class of 2013.
As teenagers, Dr. Pole and Diane first met in Mayville, Michigan. Now it's time for their triumphant return to the place where it all began.
We have our Grand Marshals, the Incredible Dr. Pole and his wife Diane, originally from Mayville.
"47 years after he got married here, it's unbelievable."
Right over there is where Dad gave me the first kiss on the ice skating rink.
Oh, yeah. Why not? Thank you!
Same here.
He's making sure we get to the right place. Hello.
How many people can say that they can work with their dad every day doing something that they love to do? I wouldn't trade it for the world.
Hi.
I'm thankful for what happened to us and how it all developed. I'm not proud, I'm happy.
Crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, it sure is. Mom and Dad would have been really surprised.
They would have been cheering on the sidelines. Hello, this is Dr. Pole. Yes. Oh!
Veterinary medicine doesn't get old. Helping animals never gets old.
Bye. See ya.
Retirement's a dirty word. I don't think Jan's ever going to retire.
Heck yes, I will retire. I just don't know when. As long as I can keep going, I love it.
Let's get busy. There it is.
If I die with my arm up a cow's butt,
Ready? Let go.
you know, I know that I have had a good life and I enjoyed what I was doing.
There you go. All ready?
Thank you.
You're very welcome. Thanks, guys.
To all the fans in the show, thank you for watching. It's amazing that this show became so popular. I never thought it would happen. I thank all my fans for watching all the time.